How you doing? This is Muata Greene, your Asbury Park weather guy. And today I'm going to talk to you for a little bit about weathering your health, the science behind it, and what it really means. And let's start out clearly by looking at what we have here in front of you. It says there's no such thing as good weather or bad weather. There's just weather and your attitude towards it. That's very important, because to some people, when it gets real hot, people say it's too hot. When it gets too cold, so it's a very personal attitude of how we feel about weather. So it's no good. All weather is necessary for the planet, and the more diversity you have in the planet, the better it is for the planet. So let's start and move on, and let's talk about some of the stuff up here. Okay, air quality in your health. That's a key issue, especially people in different areas, in urban centers where there's a lot of traffic and stuff. But in general, the air quality is part of the weather. And for instance, it says poor air quality can be hazardous to anyone. It can aggravate health problems such as asthma, heart disease, and lung disease, especially among seniors and children, people in certain groups that are more vulnerable. And some of the things that the air quality can cause, everything from a headache, difficult breathing, irritated eyes and sinuses, that what we call pollen allergies, chest pain, asthma attacks, fatigue, irritated throat, and increasing coughing. All that comes about because the air quality is what we breathe in. And if the air is more drier, like in the desert, we'll have more problems. If it's more humid, it can become a problem, because we as humans, remember, we breathe oxygen. We do not breathe water. We're not like fish. So air quality definitely matters. Okay, impact of climate change on human health. There are many things that climate change can affect. And these days, climate change is becoming more and more of an understanding science, where before people thought it was a wives' tale and the whole flat earth theory, which has been disproven time and time again. Climate change, okay, injuries, fatalities, mental health impacts, because people who live in certain climates can affect their mental health, how they deal with things. As I talked about earlier, asthma, cardiovascular disease, people who have heart problems. All this severe weather air pollution affects this. Heat-related injuries, death, and like I said, cardiovascular failure. That's basically a heart attack. In certain areas when it's real hot, there are other diseases, malaria, dengue, hepatitis, hantavirus, Rift Valley fever, Lyme disease. That's a good one. Chikungunya, I think I'm pronouncing it right, and West Nile virus. A lot of us here in the West have heard about Lyme disease because it happens a lot during the spring and summer when the leaves and the things are blooming, and the Lyme disease, people end up, getting sick with that. Even dogs can, animals. Extreme heat, environment, forced migration, civil conflict, mental health impacts. People migrate from other places because of climate. Climate is a form of violence on our bodies, and that can cause problems, things like that. So that's why people migrate, try to get away from the bad weather. Respiratory allergies, asthma. So all these things talk about water, food supplies, quality of water, malnutrition, chloride, all that stuff. So climate change is an important part of human health, and all these things affect us as human beings on this planet. Let's move on. Barometric pressure shifts can affect your health. Now that's the pressure in the atmosphere. As we know, when you're on the ground level, the pressure is one thing. Whether you go up higher, you go on a plane or anything else, or sometimes in a tall building, you feel a difference in pressure. But the pressure on the ground level can change too. Right? So therefore, that can trigger headaches. Like if at night, the pressure becomes lower, or when the storm is coming in. You ever feel when a storm, it gets cloudy, like that? The pressure actually drops. Those things can trigger migraine headaches or headaches in general. And another thing that is getting more information, I recently found out myself, how it can raise or lower your pressure. Because remember, blood pressure is based on the internal pressure of your body. So now the outside pressure on your body could affect the internal pressure on your body. And that's very key. Make blood sugar harder to control. That means people that are diabetics who are about controlling their blood sugar, when the pressure shifts, they might feel the need for more food or something because their blood sugar is dropped. And I'm saying that is very key. And I'm saying as a used to be EMS, that happens a lot. When the weather gets a certain way, the people's blood sugar drops and they feel they need to have some more food or some liquid. Also, joint pain. And you hear that from a lot of older people. Oh, when it gets cloudy or rain or at night, my joints hurt. Yes, because the pressure on the outside of your body affects the pressure inside of your body. And remember, the joints are part of the skeleton structure that holds your body up, keeps your body going. So therefore, that pressure can affect that. And the older you get, if you're not in a certain level of fitness, it can affect you even more. Now that we're coming into the warmer weather, climate change hurts your health. Heat waves, that's a key thing now as we move into the warmer season. As you know, now we're in April, astronomical spring, and that can affect, like I said, heat waves can affect you. You dehydrate. That's when it gets hot. We tell people, make sure you hydrate, make sure you drink enough water. Mental health, some people just get so depressed, and the people that don't have air conditioning or have to work outside in the heat, that affects them even more. That can affect their mental health. Respiratory disease, like I said, if the air is thick and it's got a lot of moisture in it, you have hard time breathing. Heat cramps, once again, that's how the pressure, and when you dehydrate, you end up getting cramps. Because the more you sweat, you're dehydrating, and our body is 80% water. So the more you dehydrate, the more your joints are drawing for moisture, and you can end up getting cramp. And it starts with the heat cramps. And if it's not taken care of, it can end up with a heat stroke. Heat stroke is when you are completely dehydrated, you can end up losing consciousness, you can go into respiratory failure. And that's very important, not to get the heat cramps. If you feel overheated, make sure you take a break, drink some water, especially those who work outside. That's why there's even labor rules now for people to work outside in certain extreme temperatures. Every hour or so, they have to take a water break, so they keep away from heat cramps and heat stroke, which can become very fatal. This is how to protect yourself from a heat wave. Like I said, keep cool. Those who can't afford air conditioning, keep by a fan. Have a window open if it's going to bring in cool air. Otherwise, keep the window closed so you keep the warm air out and keep it cool as you can in your environment. Stay out of the heat itself directly. The main part of the day, you don't want to be out in the sun. Between noon and 3 and 4 is the hottest part of the day. You do not want to be outside when it's really, really hot. I'm talking about over 80 and above at high humidity. And when you get high heat and high humidity, that can cause more of a problem. Stay hydrated, as you mentioned before, and protect yourself from the sun. Wearing a hat, wear sunscreen, all those things to protect ourselves, even if you're on the beach. That's why I talk about people apply sunscreen, hydrate, because you're in direct sun and it can directly affect you. And these are some of the things I went through, like staying indoors, keep in the dark, keep curtains closed, windows, hydrate. Things I talked about, loose clothing, splash out, cool down, check on your neighbors, stuff like that. These are all things that are very important. And I'm emphasizing that now, being we're in the spring season, and in another, 60 days or less, we'll be into the summer season. And that's astronomical summer, which starts around June 20th. Meteorologically, it's June 1st. So anytime going into, and being we have a warmer climate, as you notice, the temperatures have become more extreme, so you might have more heat. In fact, according to the latest records of NOAA, in the last 20 years, the planet has been warming up, especially on the Atlantic coast. The Atlantic Ocean part is, that's why along the East Coast summer's been getting warmer, even the winters have been getting warmer, less snow and everything else, because the Atlantic Ocean is heating up. The whole planet's heating up, but the Atlantic Ocean seems to be heating up much faster. And we're going to end with these major 10 ways to stay healthy this summer. Number 1, get out in the sun, but remember, with limitations, not during the hottest part of the day. If you do, protect yourself. Prioritize your sleep. If your body's rested, your body can endure and deal with things a little better. Eat protein, fat, fiber at each meal. Our body is made of protein, affects your muscles. So you have a good level of protein in your body, it affects your muscles, and you're able to move more and without pain, and it keeps you more healthy, it supports your rest of your body. Eat the rainbow. That means you eat not just one thing, like your veggies, certain amount of protein, fish, chicken, meat, but a mixture. It's more very good. For your mental health, see friends and family. Stay hydrated, daily movement, building strength. You can work out in the summer too, but not during the hottest part of the day, especially if you're in a non-air conditioned space. Reduce your stress and toxin avoidance. These are very healthy things, and it's a website you can go to called www.healthyhappyhuman.uk. That comes out of the United Kingdom. I hope the information I gave you today will make you think about how the weather in general affects our health, not just complain about it. Like I say, it's a very personal thing, but the science, this is the science behind it. And we want to make sure we understand what's going on. And any questions, we're going to put my email up at the end here. You can contact me, Muata, the Asbury Park weather guy. Take care. Look forward to seeing you next season.